Hello, my name is John Griffin Donlan. A lot of people call me Dr.Leisure. I like to make these short videos in a variety of topics: food, fashion, travel, technology. I like to make these short videos and I hope you like watching them. But if you don't, that's fine too. The Walter Anderson Museum of Art, located in historic Ocean Springs on the Mississippi Gulf Coast, is dedicated to the preservation and celebration of artist-philosopher Walter Anderson. According to text on the facility's website, prepared by art historian Patti Carr Black, Walter Anderson's paintings, drawings, murals, block prints, sculpture, carvings, and writings of coastal plants, animal landscapes, and people have placed him among the most compelling and singular artists of the 20th century. I became acquainted with the artist through my great and good friend David Wortman, whose family visited Ocean Springs for years and were patrons of the artistic group, including Anderson's brother Peter Anderson, master potter and founder of Shearwater Pottery, and James McConnell Anderson, noted painter and ceramist. David suggested I read Walter's wonderful daybooks, which influenced my own habit of keeping illustrated journal. Ruby, David's mother, a lifelong teacher, told us romantic stories of Walter rowing out to Horn Island, working assiduously on his drawing in watercolors. Horn Island, the museum text explains, one of a series of Gulf Coast barrier isles near Anderson's Ocean Springs home, became for him equal parts Eden, paradisiacal home, and terra incognita, an elusive, sometimes dangerous, and infinitely mysterious piece of earth that contained elemental ways of knowing and seeing. Storytellers have referred to Anderson as both Adam in a hat and Don Quixote on a bicycle, referencing his Horn Island existence and his extensive journeys on bicycle, which took him thousands of miles across New York, Tennessee, Texas, and Florida. Ms. Black points out that since its founding in 1991, WAMA has been a keystone of the state's cultural life. Walter Anderson, who was born in New Orleans in 1903 and lived on the coast until his death in 1965, is almost certainly Mississippi's most studied and well-known visual artist. We were all interested in the famous artist, so we drove over from New Orleans for the day. I have for years been keenly aware of his roving ways, since I too appreciate the benefits of small boats and basic bicycles. Excitingly, the Walter Anderson Museum of Art in Ocean Springs displays the original skiff that Walter Anderson used for his trips to Horn Island. This isn't a duplicate, it's the actual boat he relied on to reach the island. The museum also houses his original bicycle, reflecting his adventurous spirit and modes of transportation. Black writes, not unlike Cézanne, Anderson cultivated a belief in realization between man and nature. If humans need the natural world in order to find spiritual transcendence, wrote Anderson's biographer Christopher Maurer, nature requires the artist to fully realize the significance of its forms. Anderson believed that nature, in its infinite wisdom and variety, could restore societies to a more perfect and participatory existence. In order to realize the beauty of humanity, we must realize our relation to nature, wrote Anderson. Two sites in particular illuminate the vision of Walter Anderson at the museum: the Little Room and the Community Center, both festooned with spectacular imagery, floor to ceiling. The Little Room served as Walter Anderson's sanctuary on the mainland during the later years of his life. He painted the Little's murals chronicling the transition from night to day through the synthesis of plants and animals. Apparently, the artist never allowed anyone else, save some cats and the occasional raccoon or possum, to enter the room. Walter's wife opened the Little Room after his death in 1965 and found these stunning murals. Thousands of paintings and drawings were strewn about, including his treasured Horn Island watercolors, some of which Walter had attempted to destroy in the fireplace, and some which he had carefully selected and stored in a chest in the corner. The community center is the site of Walter Anderson's monumental 3,000-foot murals, which depict the historic discovery of the Mississippi coast and its diverse climates. The city commissioned Walter Anderson to execute the murals in 1950 for a fee of $1. They were completed after 16 months in 1952. Walter Anderson Museum of Art, 510 Washington Avenue, Ocean Springs, Mississippi, 228-872-3164.